afternoon. Thank you guys all for joining us. We're excited to dive into our watch list solution today. So looks like everyone's just trickling in. While we do that, I'll just kind of intro and go over some logistics. So today we're going to show you our watch list product and how it seamlessly integrates with our case management solution. We're excited to be able to showcase this for you and show you, the uniqueness of it, within the market. So let's jump into some housekeeping. Some quick things. If you're having any technical problems, you can scroll down on the website page and we have an FAQ section there to troubleshoot if you can't hear audio or can't see. This is usually due to a VPN blocking it. So if you are having issues, I would suggest just logging in from a personal device, computer or phone. That always solves it, but can help you troubleshoot via the chat as well. This is being recorded. It'll be available directly following this webinar at the same link. So you can pass it along to colleagues, tune in later as well. And then we are going to do live Q&A. You'll see on the right-hand side, there's a chat. Love a lively chat here with while we're presenting to have kind of that back and forth, but also there's a Q&A section where you can drop your questions in, you can upvote questions. We should have time to go through all the questions that come in. And if you drop them in and they're relevant to what we're talking about at that moment, we will try to do that as well. I think that's all I got to cover. So I'm excited to pass it to Alex and Janet, two of our best fraud and AML experts out there, and you guys are in good hands. Alex, take it away.
Thank you so much, Cassie. Hello, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Happy to see all of you on another webinar of Unit 21. I see we have a very good mix of existing customers and some external listeners. So I'm very excited to go over this watch list solution demonstration that we have for you today. If you're not familiar with me, my name is Alex Favosovich. I'm the head of fraud risk here at Unit 21. I'm a fraud prevention practitioner for the past 16 years. I've been fighting fraud for many years, doing operational roles, analytics, advisory, building and designing fraud strategies, and for the past 3 years I've been here with Unit 21. Today with me I have my good friend Janet, who is our senior solution engineer, and I will only tell you that if showcasing a feature or a demo was considered a gift or present, then Janet will probably be Santa Claus, but I will allow Janet to introduce herself. Janet, take it away.
Thank you, Alex. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Janet Chang, and I'm part of our solutions team at Unit 21. Over the past 3 years, I've had the privilege of working closely with our customers, helping them implement Unit 21 solutions to strengthen their compliance and risk programs. So I'm really excited to be here today to walk you through our approach to sanctions, PEP, and adverse media screening a little later in the webinar. And hope you find it insightful.
Thank you so much, Janet. I'm very excited to see the demo, but let's get right into it. So the first question I have for you folks today, and for myself, to be honest, is why watch lists? And if you're a customer of Unit 21, or if you've been reading about us, or maybe you visit the website, you know that we really see ourselves as a risk and compliance infrastructure, which is why we decided at Unit 21 that we want to add ongoing watchlist screening to our stacks of solutions, because we simply believe that we want to turn Unit 21 into one place where, one system that can address all of the needs of BSA officers, risk managers, fraud prevention managers, and financial institutions. Now, watchlist screening is critical component in financial institutions compliance programs, in particularly in relations to the USA Patriot Act and the Bank Secrecy Act, the BSA. I do see we have quite a few BSA officers today, so I will keep this part briefly, but in case you're not familiar with these laws, they are pretty much mandating financial institutions to take proactive measures to detect and prevent financial crimes, money laundering, terrorist financing, and other illicit activities. The USA Patriot Act was enacted after 9/11 attacks to strengthen the US financial system against terrorism. And watchlist screening helps financial institutions pretty much to comply with key provisions of this act, such as Sanctions 311, Sanction 314A, which requires financial institutions to share information with law enforcement, and also Sanction 326, which mandates financial institutions to implement what we call a CIP, which is a customer identification program. Now, the Bank Secrecy Act, which was introduced in 1970, is the foundational anti-money laundering law in the United States, and it's requiring financial institutions to monitor and report suspicious activities. So by using a watch list screening solution, you support being compliant with the BSA by conducting customer due diligence, eventually, if you need to file suspicious activity reports and also currency transaction reports. Another mention here would be OFAC, so Office of Foreign Assets Control. So here, pretty much OFAC administrates and enforces the economic and trade sanctions against targeted countries, individuals, and entities. But this is pretty much why we decided that we really want to have watchlist screening embedded in Unit 21, and this is what we are going to present to you today. So to begin with, let's start with a quick poll question. So what is your biggest challenge with watchlist screening today? And if you hover over the Q&A button on the right side of the screen, you will be able to see, the poll button, you will be able to see all the answers. So please go ahead and choose one, and I will allow a few moments for folks to participate in the poll. I see some results coming in. All right, it looks like we have a clear winner, if we can say that. So Cassie, we can close this poll. So with 59%, the biggest challenge is too many false positives, making investigations inefficient. And yeah, I can absolutely relate to that. I think many solutions out there are not flexible in the way they allow you to screen against the different lists that you must to screen in order to be compliant. So I'm not really surprised to see that answer as number one. And we always joke to say, it's a once in a lifetime that you will get an actual true positive from an OFAC. But outside of that, we've seen a lot of false positives whenever those alerts are generated. So it makes a lot of sense. Let's move on. So let's talk about industry challenges. And in general, I will give you a glimpse into how we develop products here in Unit 21. Is we always try to approach a new feature or a new product from the perspective of what problem it solves today and what challenges our current customer or prospective customers are dealing with a specific feature or specific solution. And when we looked at watchlist screening, we identified several different points that making the operational aspect of using watchlists very challenging. And the first one is, like the poll indicated, a very high false positive rates. So for ongoing screening, many watchlist tools lack the ability to test before you deploy a watch list, and they not always offer you the ability to do fuzzy matching. And that creates two problems. On one hand, you deploying a solution without understanding how much alerts you will generate. On the other hand, the lack of ability to create fuzzy matching sometimes narrow it down, and you actually might not get hits or get hits that are irrelevant. So it really comes down to having a very inefficient way uh, to match, and it also creates a lot of. Now, the second challenge that we see with existing solutions in the market today are limited customization. So rigid systems that don't adapt to internal risk appetites or risk tolerance in the financial institutions. These challenges comes in from screening only relevant entities, and being not able to customize how the data is presented in the alert view. Many times, if your financial institution already working with a watch list screening solution, it is external to your case management. So whenever you get a hit, not only you need to ingest it into the case management, you also not always able to present the right information on the relevant information to the investigator when they do their job. The third challenge is siloed compliance workflows. So just like I said, right now, it's very challenging when you have many different risk indicators coming from various systems, and where they're not automatically in a very natural way aggregated under one roof. You just simply spending so much time operationally building the case before you even start the investigation. Um, Also, usually when you ingest those types of alerts, let's say you got a matchless hit and you ingest it into your case management, it's not always actionable. It not always takes the data of the actual hit and allow you to action on it, or to even use it as part of your case management tool. So it does create a lot of waste of time, and we heard from existing customers and also from external sources when we interviewed that this is a big problem for operational teams when they deal with external tools. And the last one, which is probably the most serious one, is there are severe consequences in terms of regulatory fines and penalties that can cost several $1 million. Without mentioning any names, we all heard about the big tier 1 bank who was fined $97.8 million just recently. But yeah, it's a big problem, and nobody wants to be on that list. I mean, from sanctions and restrictions, and to you can find yourself to be in a non-compliant financial institution one morning, and it limits your ability to operate in either certain jurisdictions or markets, or even with particular clients. So nobody wants that, and obviously we always say that you must have a very clear program, so when the auditors come and do the audit on your financial institutions, it's very clear for them to understand how you utilize each and every tool as part of your BSA operations. Now, why Unit21 creating a difference in this space? Here's a couple points for you to consider. So what we did is we decided to partner with market-leading watchlist vendor, and basically when you choose to do watchlist screening through Unit21, you will get the LexisNexis as your data source. So our watchlist solution combines extensive coverage of many lists that LexisNexis can provide. Outside of that, automated daily screening. So by using it with Unit21, your ongoing screening will run once a day, and it is always will be up to date with the latest sanctions, PEP, and adverse media lists that you need for your financial institution. You will have customizable screening logic, so you can actually filter and screen only what's relevant to you and your institution, which can significantly bring not only the cost of how much you will end up paying for watchlist screening, but also make your operational work much more efficient. Seamless case management integration. We spend a lot of time and work of understanding how we take that alert that is being generated by the watchlist screening solution and embed it into case management that is part of Unit 21, which you will see later in the demo that Janet will show us. Reducing false positive by using, fuzzy matching. You can pretty much fine tune the thresholds and be more precise of how and what you want to flag on, and validation and shadow mode. So before deploying, adding any new lists to your watch list screening, you can actually go and validate and test them and see the expected results before you click the go button. Now let's jump to our second poll question for today, which is which best describes your organization's watchlist screening process for ongoing screening? And if you click the tab on the right, you should be able to see all the available answers for you. Let's give a few more moments for folks to choose their answers. All right, so it looks like we have a clear winner, which says we use a third-party service for automated screening. And I think that's very common today. For many years, watch list screening solutions were presented as a standalone product. And I think historically, many financial institutions who've been working with the same vendor for 15, 10, 20 years, whatever that time frame is, have been using it exactly the same, which only tells me that using watchlist screening as a third-party standalone solution is probably requires either a lot of work on the back end of the financial institution to integrate it with case management, or there is a lot of manual work of bringing those insights and alerts into the investigation tools that the financial institution is using today. So thank you everyone who responded to that poll question. So before we jump into the demo that Janet has prepared for us, on a very high level, when you sign with Unit 21 for your watch screen monitoring solution, what you will get is you will get sanctions, PEP, and adverse media to monitor. And with sanctions, we are offering over 140 different lists between OFACs and SDN, FinCEN, Global List, whatever that is your financial institution needs. On PEP, you can obviously monitor all the different varieties, either it's national, international, by state, city, whatever geolocation you're required to monitor. And also adverse media categories such as embezzlement and drug trafficking, tax evasion, bribery, corruption, and terrorist financing. So I think you heard enough of me for today, or at least for now, but let's move to the interesting part of this webinar, which is the demo. So Janet, I will stop sharing my screen and the stage will be yours.
Thank you, Alex, for setting me up here. So for today's demo, I'm going to talk through the different levels of controls that Unit 21 offers for watchlist screening, as Alex had mentioned earlier, where you can essentially define who, what, and how you want to screen your customer base on an ongoing basis. And then I'll dive into the investigation process in our case management module to show you what happens when there is a potential hit or match. I also wanted to start off by saying, we're not reinventing the wheel here for the underlying mechanism of watchlist screening. So as Alex mentioned, our watchlist solution is powered by LexisNexis behind the scenes, so that we're providing you with the most up-to-date and reliable data. But what we've done here is make watchlist screening a lot less painful by offering high degrees of flexibility for you to control how screening is handled in a more integrated and user-friendly case management system. So hopefully this helps reduce false positives and kind of improve efficiencies on your side. So I'm going to start sharing my screen now. What you're seeing right now is a one-time initial setup that will be led by our Unit 21 implementation manager to help you define who, what, and how you want to screen your customer base. As you can see on my screen, we do give you full control over this, starting with who you want to screen. You can essentially select different types or groups of customers. Here I've set up something very straightforward where I only want to screen all my active customers because I don't need to screen anyone who has been offboarded and no longer a customer. This will also help me manage my screening costs a little bit. Other examples I've heard or seen with some of our customers is, if you have operations in other regions or jurisdictions, you may want to handle the screening a little bit differently. So for example, for my customers based in Canada, I may want to screen them a little bit differently than how I would screen my customers in the US. And really, you can set up your screening program in whichever way you would like based off of your risk appetite or your internal policies. We do support allowing you to hone in on different groups of customers based off of really any data that you collect on them. This is just some examples of customer attributes that you could base that off of. Next, what we have here is what do we want to screen? So we do offer sanction screening, adverse media, and PEP screening. And what's next here is what do you want to screen for? Or sorry, how do you want to screen? So what data elements you want to match against, name at a minimum, but you could also select to match based, to include the middle name, date of birth, state, and country. And when matching on a combination of these different data elements, this will help reduce the false positives. Along with the LexisNexis proprietary fuzzy matching threshold that you can set here as well. So essentially a lower threshold is more fuzziness, for a lack of better term, and will essentially cast a wider net and result in more potential matches, while a higher threshold will help reduce false positives by increasing the matching precision. And then lastly, you can select the different sanction lists that you want to screen against. So LexisNexis does offer global sanctions lists, and this selection will change based off of the type of screening that you are trying to conduct here. So for example, if I change this to adverse media, you'll notice now that these are all the different categories of negative news that you can select to be alerted on. And then for PEP, the level of government, as well as you can select whether you want to only be alerted on any individuals who currently hold that government position or have held it in the past. And not to worry, if you're unsure what to set or how to set this up, a Unit 21 implementation manager will be setting this up with you. And our platform also supports validation testing. So you can actually test these parameters that you've set here and have a look at some sample match results before you actually put it into production. And you can kind of iterate until you're happy with the level until you're happy with the settings that you have here. Once this is all set, the screening is going to run on a daily basis, as Alex mentioned, and we will alert you of any potential matches in your case management dashboard that you see on my screen here, where you can then start the investigation. If there has already been an alert of a potential match for one of your customer, the system is smart enough to know that you've already been alerted, likely reviewed it. So the system will not alert you again of the same customer again and again every day. Instead, we'll only re-alert you if the sanction list was updated or if anything has changed on the customer profile, like if they've changed their name or address as an example. Diving deep into one of the sample sanction hits here, this is the alert. You get a nice little summary, who, what, when, why. So I can see this is a Watchlist alert. It's a sanction hit on an individual. You'll see when this alert was generated and who was flagged. So in this case, my customer Igor was flagged. Below the summary here, you'll get the actual hit that came back in a nice side-by-side kind of view here for ease of investigation. So what we're seeing is on the left, this is the customer profile that's in your record, so what you have on file about your customer. On the right, this is the potential hit from the sanctions list. In this case, Igor is on quite a few number of lists here. And I can now do a side-by-side comparison. You can also customize this. So going along the theme of being able to have full control over your screening solution, we do give you the flexibility to design your own layout. So that includes the data elements you want to bring in here. So if you have other data or information about your customer that you want to bring in for your investigation, you can display it here on the left. You can reorganize or organize the ordering of the fields here for your investigation. And then just below this, you'll also get a nice little summary of why this person was placed on the sanction list, when, etc. And once you're through with your investigation, on the right, you'll see the ability to mark it as a false positive, so not a match, or it is a true match. And you can even connect Unit 21 with your internal systems to freeze the account in your internal system. Another example of a sanction hit is this one here. So this one is on an institutional customer, so a company, a business. So to clarify, we do sanction screening, or we do watch list screening on both individuals and businesses. So here's an example of one where there was a hit on my customer, JPSC, Rosneft oil company. To this one, with this alert, I did want to highlight and kind of showcase the fuzzy matching logic here. So you'll see on the bottom here, I do have 5 hits across different watch lists. And you can see the company name is not exact. There is some fuzzy logic element here. So very similar, if I open one of the potential matches, I can see that side-by-side comparison of the company name, and then a summary of why this company is placed on that sanction list. An example of a PEP, very similar. Again, nice little summary. This is my customer that got flagged in this potential PEP match. Along the bottom here, quite a number of different results, side-by-side comparison. And if I scroll down further, here's where I can see the actual government position that this person might have held. So you'll be able to also see if they are currently in this position or in the past. You'll see the date range of when they were in power here. And then lastly, an adverse media alert or hit here. My customer, Osama bin Laden, if I scroll down, quite a number of media hits here. So this is an example, again, fuzzy matching logic. So likely there was some also known as, so what they're also known as hits. So not quite the exact same name, but some fuzzy matching logic here. And then towards the bottom, we give you a nice little summary of the negative news that we've found. So that's all I wanted to show today. Let me see if there's any questions in the chat here.
Yeah, so before we jump to the Q&A, because I see some questions coming in, just to recap on a very high level why it makes more sense to utilize Watchlist as part of the Unit 21 core offering. Between everything that Janet just showed us, filtering and customizations, adjusting the thresholds according to your needs, and having everything synced within your case management, being able to compare side by side with your existing customers and the information you have on file. I think it makes Watchlist screening much easier for the investigator or for the agents who running all the investigations in your financial institutions. And I would just say, if you are an existing customer of Unit 21 and interested to learn more, please feel free to reach out to your customer success manager. If you are not a Unit 21 customer and want to learn more about what else we can offer, you can always go to unit21.ai and to learn more on our website, or even request a demo. And me and my team will be more than happy to showcase all the capabilities that our platform can offer to risk and compliance folks out there. But yeah, I think we can move to the Q&A section. So if you have any questions, that will be a great time for you to submit those using the Q&A tab. Let's start. Let's see what we have here. So we have a question from David on what algorithm is utilized in the solution for matching purposes. Well, David, great question. Essentially, we are using the LexisNexis proprietary name alignment algorithm. So we don't overwrite it. We just use what they offer out of the box. And another question from David about how does the system address gaps in data resulting in empty fields that are used to score. On a very high level, without getting into the technicals, I would say if the data is not present, it is ignored, and the scoring is used only based on the available data that we have. But again, if you're interested in learning more about the technicals, please follow up with us, and we are more than happy to discuss this in details. Another question coming in from Israr. Is there any models or AI features that the system uses in automatic closure of false positives? So we do have an AI agent offering as part of the case management within Unit21. And what's unique about the AI agent is that you can choose how heavily or how lightly you want to utilize the AI agent as part of your investigation. It can be something simple as running a search or maybe going over a checklist. But there's definitely an AI features that you can use in case management when you are a Unit21 customer. Thank you for that question. Question from Brokas: is it possible to validate screening rules before going into production environment? Yes, it is absolutely possible. It's what we call the validation mode, where basically you set up all the thresholds and parameters, let it run in validation, and then see the expected outcome before deploying to production. We have another question from David. What if I committed to a third-party vendor other than LexisNexis? So this is where us being a data agnostic comes into place. Essentially, if you already have a commitment with a third-party vendor, you can ingest that data into Unit21. One of our core offerings and pretty much our bread and butter is that we can ingest any type of data and then use those data points either to alert as part of our transaction monitoring solution, or you can even take alert and ingest them directly and add them to an existing cases in Unit21. So definitely, if you already have an existing solution in place and you just want to ingest those insights in, that can be done as well. Yeah, absolutely. And as you can see on your screen right now, if you want to get a demo and get better personalized showcase of what Unit21 can do for your financial institution, you're more than welcome to click the purple button you see on the screen, and we will be happy to showcase you how we can help you.
I think there was one last question here. Do you have reporting available to prove up matches, no match, and to show the lists are updated appropriately? Absolutely. Everything is part of an audit trail that we can provide.
And not only for Watchlist, in general, all the case management, all the investigation piece that the agents are doing in Unit21, everything is auditable. So yeah, if audit trails are important to you, this is something we are fully supporting today in Unit21. So we'll take one last question from Israr about the siloed compliance solutions that we are facing with current market solutions. Any possibility that any true matches will generate a risk rating that can relate to TMS? To be honest, I think that there's like we said, we are not trying to reinvent the wheel here. We just try to make watch lists much more accessible and easier to use on the operational levels. So I'm not fully sure I understand your question here, Asrar, but essentially it's a very straightforward solution. You either get a match, is the true positive, the false positive, and then you have the whole operational aspect of how you treat that alert. So we are trying to make improvements on the operational side and make sure that it's easy to work with, rather than spending a lot of time and energy and efforts of trying to figure out the alert and then how to actually action on it internally. But I think this is all we have for you today, folks. So again, thank you for joining for another webinar of Unit 21. You're more than welcome to visit unit21.ai to learn more about the different products and features that we have for you folks. And we will hope to see you again next time we do a webinar. So thank you for joining today. And Janet, thank you for this great demo.
Thank you, everyone.